Hey YouTubers, Christopher Wanamaker here doing a new category video that a couple of fellow friends, buddies of mine, have brought up to me as a good topic subject idea of pretty much, how do I keep my own personal mental and emotional and physical health in such a positive manner. So I'm going to go over each category, pretty much going over what do I personally do myself in order to have a bit of a really good like work-life balance, not be so stressed out. How do I have such a good multitask problem solver mentality? How do I turn negatives into positives? How do I not let the negatives and stresses of life and the world to overcome me and darken, my perception of the world. How do I stay so freaking positive? Especially a lot of people are like, when you tell me your life story, and I hear the things you've been through throughout your life, being bullied and abused by your stepfather for 11 years, going through about two different foster homes in 10 months when you were a sophomore in high school. And then, getting out of foster care, switching schools again, and being forced to go to counseling, having the counselor, the professional counselor, after several months tell my mom that the small stuff she believes me on, but the bigger stuff she doesn't. She thinks I was lying because the details of certain events slightly changed, and then having family members, lie to me, hurt me, use me, take advantage of me, screw me over, steal money and property from me, friends and family members that I, thought that I really loved and really cared about and really trusted. So how is it and on top of that, I went to war. I did a year in Iraq with a field artillery battery out of Fort Lewis, Washington. I did a year in eastern Afghanistan with the aviation maintenance unit that worked on Black Hawk helicopters out of Wheeler Army Airfield, Oahu, Hawaii. And I did a 3-month humanitarian mission to Liberia, Africa, helping out with the Ebola outbreak end of 2014, began in 2015 with a horizontal engineering unit from Fort Carson, Colorado. So, I've done all that. I got released from the military 2 years early, all because I was a bit down and depressed and couldn't snap out of it, super quick, fast, and in a hurry. Because in the last 15 months of my military career, I lost 3 family members. My grandfather, 3 months later, my father, which was 20 days before my 30th birthday. And then 12 and a half months later, I lost my grandmother 2 days before my 31st birthday. And then, so I got released from my military contract 25 months early, honorable discharge, VA benefits, GI Bill usage at a 21 grand severance package. I went on a cross country road trip hitting all 4 corners of the United States in 51 days, saw 34 states, and had a great time. Did about 10,300 miles, spent 12 grand, got to my new apartment in Colorado Springs, and then 2 months later started college. I did focused on college for the next year. Took on Lyft driving part time when I'm in school, full time when I wasn't, which I never took summer semesters, just winter and fall, and then rested. And so did mostly 4 classes on average, and on top of that work, pushed myself. Then got my associate's degree, and next like 14 15 months saved up over 20 grand in order to move away from Colorado Springs and move where I live now, Ridgefield, Washington, half hour south of my hometown area of Kelso Longview. And so seen a lot, done a lot, been through a lot. I was a quartermaster supply sergeant in the Army for 9 of 13 and a quarter years of service, 3 deployments, had a lot of responsibility. My basic average responsibility was take care of anywhere from 80 to 200 soldiers at any given time within the type of unit I was a part of. Take care of $5 to $500 million of government equipment at any given time, and run my own small office max, and then either have no clerks, so it's all on me, or several clerks. It just depends on the unit and the time frame and all that. So, seen a lot, done a lot, been through a lot, have had friends and family members lie to me, say one thing and do another, which is my biggest pet peeve in my life. They say one thing and then it's like, oh, well, my feelings changed. And like, I don't care. You know, if you said you're going to do something, then do it. I expect that's called respect. Treat others as you want to be treated. I try to live my life as best as possible. I do make mistakes. I'm not perfect. And I try to live by the seven Army values: loyalty, duty, um, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. Or also the seven virtues of Bushido, which is close to the same. It's honor, respect, integrity, heroic courage, honesty, and sincerity, duty, and loyalty and compassion. So I try to live by virtues and values and have a moral code and an ethical code as much as possible. I'm not saying that I don't like lose it and lose my cool, have an emotional breakdown every now and then, depending on what's going on in my life. It happens. I'm not perfect, but so slowly over time, I have learned how important taking care of your mental, emotional, and physical health is. About 2 years ago, I weighed the most I ever weighed, 252 pounds, and now I weigh like about 220. So I lost over 30 pounds in the past 2 years. I'm still working on it. I've had type 2 diabetes for the past few years, and this past year I've been working really hard on it. I was this close to hitting, like, I think it's like 9.2, 9.3. You go from type of A1C level, you go from type 2 to type 1, where you got to take insulin. But I got all the way up to like 9.0, and then now lately, last two times I've been tested, 7.6. If I hit 7.5 or below, then I will be able to like start donating plasma in the area and to make extra money. Um, so I'm working hard on losing weight, getting that under control, and then so physical health I've been working on and everything. So when it comes to what little hints, tips, and tricks have I learned to take better care of my mental, emotional, and physical health? To what did I learn from all my travels and dealing with stresses and everything from family, friends, coworkers, my world travels, being in the military, all that kind of stuff. And so let's start, getting into it. Pretty much when it comes to physical health, what do I do? Pretty much, listening to a variety of good music you enjoy. So whatever makes you happy, that really makes you smile. That could be any kind of music of any type. Eating a variety of good food. The one thing I would say, don't eat the same food repetitively. Learn to change it up a bit, and definitely been doing that a lot more over the past year. Me and my mom tried Home Chef was one of the things, but we were spending a little too much money. We thought it would save us money, but it didn't really work out too well. I got very creative. I was cooking up a storm, which was quite interesting. And now instead of just getting groceries for, say, just Walmart, we're getting most of it from Walmart, or about half of it. Very specific things that we know is cheaper at Walmart, but then we'll go to Fred Meyer's and grab a few select items. We'll go to the newer Trader Joe's in Salmon Creek, Vancouver, and get certain things from there. And then I'll even stop by Grocery Outlet and get very specific things there. I learned, certain things, they have unique items. For example, one thing I'm addicted to right now is the original Thai tea in a can. It's like $2.79 at grocery outlets. I have about one or two a day. I love it, the stuff, and it's good for you. And then another thing I learned, like Grocery Outlet, for, like, say, a 6-pack of a certain flavored top ramen, is $1.99 a 6-pack at Grocery Outlet, when other places is like $3.30 to $3.70 for a 6-pack. So, learning to shop around, try different things, get certain items for different places, and it helps save you money. But you also change up what you're getting too, especially. Trader Joe's has a lot of unique variety of their kind of branded food and snacks. So mixing it up, not always getting the same thing or eating at the same restaurants again and again and again. Mixing it up a bit. Um, Keep a clean home is a really good thing. I have a bit of a philosophy that I've created for myself over time. A good home is a clean, organized, well maintained, well decorated, efficient home. I need to create a plaque out of that one day. And so, like just recently, a couple days ago, I started feeling like as I'm walking on my apartment carpet, that it started feeling a bit dirty and oily on my feet. I could feel it. So I went and compared prices for a rug doctor at my local grocery store, Rosaires in Ridgefield, and Walmart in Battleground, and found out they're about the same price. So I got the one that's closest to me at my local grocery store, half a block down the road. Got that, brought it home, and then all the little mini pieces of furniture that's not really hard to move. I went ahead and moved those out of the way, vacuumed really well first, and then shampooed my room and my mom's bedroom. So, and then of course, certain areas that the walkways I go over 2 or 3 times, empty everything out, clean out the rug doctor, and then I went ahead and took it right back because they take a $40 deposit and then $40 for the charge, and you get the $40 deposit back once you return the item, and they look it over and it's in good condition and all that. So having a good, clean home, and the mindset of if you want things to last, take good care of them. And so I believe in keeping a good home, clean home, living in an apartment complex, having a leasing office. We put in, maintenance request orders, light bulb goes out or electrical outlets not working or whatever. We don't go, buy things to replace it. We hit up our leasing office. But then, those who are homeowners of some kind of any kind of styled home, my older brother is learning this the very hard way of, he has a mobile trailer in Kelso, Washington. It's about 47, 48 years old, and he's had it for about 17, 18 years. He usually, in the past, over those past 17, 18 years, he has repaired things, but only when they were so damaged they needed repair right now, or it could cause major issues, injuries, other things will start falling apart. It's kind of like the TV series of The Big Bang Theory, where Penny's giving Sheldon a ride, and he's like, "Hey, your check engine's light," and I was like, "It's okay, it's always on." Well, even more of a reason to get it checked out, because it's like a domino effect. If the engine light is coming on, something's wrong. One or a couple things could be wrong. But if one thing starts to go wrong and you don't get it checked out as quick as humanly possible to stay on top of it, then that's a domino effect for one thing being wrong, two things being wrong, three, four, five, six, seven, and then throws a rod and the whole engine is toast and the car is a paperweight. And so it's like, if you want nice things, vehicles, furniture, home, electronics, whatever, everything needs a bit of TLC at some point in time. You need to stay on top of it. I'm seeing little short video clips of master maintenance people, and they're this is why I see right now they opening up this engine and everything, and it's like dried up oil goop. It's almost like gum, because people are not doing maintenance long enough. People are waiting 10,000 to 60,000 miles for their very first oil change, and then they wonder why their engine is not being very efficient or even breaking, constantly having issues because they're not staying on top of the maintenance services. Everything needs a bit of TLC love, and you've got to stay on top of it for vehicle maintenance. You hear a little weird noise, weird creak, or anything, get it checked out right away. You know that newer 2000 and newer vehicles every 5 to 6,000 miles, it needs an oil change, get the highest quality oil and all that. There's also needs spark plugs like every 90,000 miles. It needs coolant and like brake fluid every 50 or 60,000 miles. Transmission through fluid every 50, 60,000 miles. It needs whenever it needs new belts, it needs new belts. When it needs new brake pads and rotors and new tires, when it needs it, it needs it. So get it and save up an emergency fund off to the side to always cover those costs. But the same thing goes for furniture. Same thing goes for your home, electrical, piping, everything. So my older brother, pretty much, unless something, fully broke, then he would put in the time and energy, and he would always try to go as cheap as humanly possible, which could cost you down the line. That's like putting using super glue or duct tape to fix something. It's going to completely fail and cost you even more down the line if you don't get it professionally looked at and taken care of by a certified professional. So, and now in one of his corners of his kitchen area of of his mobile home, the electricity, the light switch, the outlet, the ceiling fan, everything just recently went completely out. He's tried a couple of different things, changing out an outlet and all that, and tested things and checked the breaker box and all that kind of stuff. Nothing's working, so it has to be the wiring. That is probably a good amount of money that he does not have. So that's what you get for not staying on top of things. I think they say when you move into a place every year, you need to be putting 10 to 20% of your net income off to the side for either focus on maintenance services, getting things checked out, getting things fixed, having things always constantly inspected and checked out, making repairs as they come. Otherwise, if there are no repairs, then maybe upgrades instead of repairs. So it's repairs come first, obviously, but then if there are no repairs, then it's, hey, I could use this, some of the money, maybe all the money, but probably more like half for some kind of upgrade. New kitchen countertop, kitchen sink, new stove, new fridge, new furniture, new flooring, new roof, new roof tiles, new siding, whatever. Is it a repair or is it an upgrade improvement? I've been seeing things, advertisement lately that they have newer, higher quality, longer lasting, warranted siding materials nowadays for homes. And they're like on major cheap prices right now. For example, or better roof tile or roofing materials that could be changed out and all that kind of stuff. So things to look into. You've got to think ahead and you got to take care of your home and your environment, and that's a part of your own physical health. It's a part of your mental health, emotional health. It covers everything. If you take good care of your expensive property, home, apartment, RV, whatever it is, tiny house, a van life, your vehicle, your furniture, your electronics, your laptop, your PC computer, your gaming consoles, printers, and you go to take it to the professionals when maintenance and repairs need to be done, then you will save yourself and your wallet and your stress level in the long run. So let's see what else. Staying curious and be creative. Don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. So a good thing for mental health is, keeping yourself busy pretty much. Hard work keeps a man or woman honest and true, and it keeps you out of trouble. So that kind of goes in with, be creative, whether, find an outlet to deal with, any kind of stress or depression or worry or concern. Doing artwork or doing other forms of artwork, cooking creations, recipes, things like that. Watching TV shows and movies, listening to music, downloading new TV shows and movies and music, and then watching those. Keeping very organized, whether it be paper files, digital files on a hard drive, You have a primary, then you back everything up and make sure that they're organized and up to date consistently. Uh, always keeping yourself busy. Yard work, or if you have a yard to work on, keeping your pool clean, keeping your garage and attic and each room, and about almost like once a season, I'm going through each room and or I'm looking online and like, hey, there's a new item, maybe I want to buy this, and I get rid of this. I try to do one for one for most things, and then hey, there's these things that no one uses anymore. They sit on a shelf or in a closet or whatever. Maybe I could take those. Can I donate them to a friend or family member? If not, donate them to Goodwill. So there's another thing that I consider, and I'm always constantly asking myself the question: how can I better my life? How can I better my future? How can I better my finances? How can I better my credit score? How can I pay off debts faster? How can I make extra money off to the side from a full-time job? How can I better my furniture, my home, my environment, my vehicle? And then, for some of those, you might have to wait a little while, work a little extra hours, donate plasma, blood, Red Cross, Plasma Donation Center, donate sperm, women donate eggs, take part in medical study stuff, sleep studies, or testing new drugs. If you've got a condition or something, you get paid for it. How can you make extra money off the side of Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, Uber Eats, things like that? So, doing different things, and then you might have to save up for it before you make your upgrades, to whatever you're trying to do. But always having goals, always having dreams, always having ideas, always being creative. Try to find a solution to a problem. It's whether it's your problem, somebody else's problem, and all that kind of stuff. So that's certain things you could do for mental health to improve your mental health. Um, Emotional health, I talk to myself. There are times that like a part of physical health is in the area in my community, mainly at night while it's hot during the spring and summer. I'll go for like a mile and a half, either walk in the area, so it's good physical health, it's good mental health, it's good emotional health, get some fresh air, or I'll even go for a bicycle ride. I got a nice bicycle and everything. So it just depends on what I'm in the mood for. Or sometimes I even take my car down to the outskirts of Ridgefield to the wildlife refuge, and I'll go walk that area, which is really nice. A lot of animals and beautiful forest and all that. So, nature walking helps as well. So, like I said, listening to music, watching TV shows and movies you like, trilogies, whatever, that's good for emotional health. Um, I watch nowadays, I've been doing this for probably the past year, watching a lot of variety of YouTube channels to constantly improve my knowledge, my education, and my personal growth. So things like Caleb Hammer, which does financial audit, and there's another guy, it's a French guy from Las Vegas. I forget his name at the moment. I watch both of those. Until Debt Do Us Part is a great one. That was from like 2000, 2010. Canadian financial guru goes in to see couples or entire families, sits down, goes over like 6 months to a year budget of statements. What are they spending their money on? Are they overspending? Hey, you're bringing in this and you're spending 2, 3, 4, 5 times more than what you bring in. And sometimes there's emotional damage, there's relationship issues because of finances cause relationship issues. So I learn a lot of what have other people done and what I should not do. How to not destroy my life with a significant other if I have one in the future, or especially if I have kids or pets to take care of, other living creatures. But also how to not screw up my life with my finances, not live beyond my means and just completely destroy myself. So that is a big one. But then I watch other things like one of my favorites right now. So Jordan Peterson, I really like him. Sebastian Ings, and he's a lot like me. He reminds me of like an older version of myself. I love watching whether his short clips or longer clips. I love he's like a life coach down in Southern California. And he's got a life coach firm and everything. It's pretty awesome. So then there's like Dr. Romney. She's like the number one psychologist on narcissism. Lewis Howes. He gets a lot of other people like Dr. Romney or Jordan Peterson or other people to talk, podcasts talking to these experts on certain subjects like narcissism or abuse or was it Matthew Hussey as well. I like him. There's a I forget his name. His YouTube channel is like Sprout or something with an H in it. He's a Canadian guy, and he goes around the interviews people of all ages from all over the world, and he's like, what's one regret that you have that you could teach younger people, or you would want to teach your younger self? What major regret do you have in life, if any? What have been the major life lessons that you have learned, one or several? What's one thing that you worry about when you're young, but you're, now that you're older and hopefully more mature, wiser, and everything, that you worry too much about like other people's thoughts, feelings, and opinions of you. So I'm constantly watching, other people's material, and it's like, why pay for counseling or a psychologist unless you really, really need one? And then watching certain TV shows and movies like Supernatural or Smallville or something, certain shows, The Good Doctor or whatever, Doctor House. Each of those things, they can teach you things. Certain movies, certain TV series, they can teach you, how to treat people, how to show proper kindness and respect. How to be a hero without saying, "Hey, look, everybody, look at me, I'm a hero." No, just how to be humble, how to do the right thing when no one's looking, integrity, how to have trust and belief and respect in yourself and push yourself hard, but do it for you, not for an applause, that kind of thing. So I definitely watch a lot of different variety of YouTube things that help me to keep growing, keep learning, keep educating myself. So a lot of things maybe I already knew because I've learned it myself, but then I, by hearing it more and more and in more depth and a new, unique perception, it reinforces what I already knew, that hey, I'm on the right path. So, other things I do for emotional, other than going for walks, I also do go for drives. Sometimes I just go cruising, like and maybe I go to a certain place, a certain restaurant, an activity, a mall, Clackamas Town Center Mall, Washington Square Mall, Vancouver Mall, maybe a mall over in Eugene where Texas Roadhouse is. Sometimes, I go out to the wilderness. I go to the Gorge. I go to Washington State Park, the Silver Falls State Park, Olympic National Park, Mount Rainier National Park. I go to actual full parks. I go to Fort Vancouver. I walk through the wilderness, around the parks, through hiking trails. I get to waterfalls, all that. I plan road trips sometimes. I actually did one this last March, I believe it was. I booked a little going to a performing arts thing. I was like almost like The Last Samurai, Japanese styled, like the movie Drumline kind of a thing. So it's the kind of music from The Last Samurai, though, but with a variety of different drums, with a bit of a performance, acrobatics and stuff. And then I stayed at Best Western, 45 minutes south of there. And then I went to the Belknap Hot Springs east of Eugene and booked a paid-for camping spot next to I think it's the McKenzie River, for 2 nights. Packed up all my bug-out bag stuff that I took out there because I hadn't been camping in like probably 8 years. So I went out there. The first night was kind of rough because I messed up like 24 things, but I learned from them, and then I packed up and went to like Redmond and Bend, Oregon, did some things there, go back to the campsite, set up, and whatever mistakes I made from the first night, I learned not to make for the second night. And then my second night was phenomenal. So, and then, go for nature walks to get fresh air. That's really important. I pretty much learned from the military, because it's like for every 1 year that you work for active duty, you usually get the weekends off unless we're doing out in the field training and camping out in a field or something like that in military tents. That happens once or twice a year. But otherwise, it's like for every year you work, other than your basic weekend time off on certain holidays, you might get a 3 or 4 day weekend. Then it's every year you work, you get 30 days paid vacation. That's 2.5 days of paid vacation for every month that you work. And then there are some people who can, it's like I need a vacation after a year. I need a vacation after 2 years. I need a vacation after 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, 10 years. I believe nowadays they have a cap of like it's like 4 years worth, so like 4 months worth or so, 4 or 5, it's like 120, 150 days, and then it's like you either sign off on a waiver, they just cash it in for the money, or they actually have to take it. And it also depends on the chain of command and like, hey, we've noticed you've been really stressed out, stressed thin, you've been depressed. We need you to take a vacation. And this, we're giving you an order to take a vacation. So one thing I definitely learned is, for me, it's like every 1 to 3 years of really hard work, stay focused, stay committed, but then take whether it's a week or 2 months, depending how much R&R vacation time you have saved up. Take some time for yourself. It's great to work hard, but there's a whole world out there to see and do and live as well. And especially as you start to feel drained or like, what is my purpose in life? What's the reason for living? It's just work, 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 work. I do the same thing. SSDD, same shit, different day, in and out, day in, day out. Every week is the same. Every month is the same. When you start feeling like that, you need to do something about it. You need to take some time for yourself. One of my things that I came up with when I came back from my year deployment in Iraq and year deployment in Afghanistan, I did come back with a little bit of like numbness, depression, PTSD. But after Iraq, I came up with a solution. I'm a multitask problem solver. If there is a question, there's an answer. If there is a problem, there is some kind of solution out there. So what I came up with is, if you come back and you're numb and depressed and PTSD and traumatized or whatever, from war or exhaustion or car crash or being bullied and abused or whatever, what you should be doing is you need to have some vacation time, you need to have some money saved up, and then, because your mental health is very important, and take some time for yourself and do what? One of two things. Either one, go on some sort of thrill-seeking adventure. Do something that's going to get your heart pumping like no freaking tomorrow. Skydiving, bungee jumping, whitewater rafting, zip lining possibly, paragliding, four-wheeling, horseback riding, maybe like a horseback with camping, whitewater rafting where there's camping overnight in one or two spots, Six Flags roller coasters, something along that lines. Skydiving is a big one. Something that's going to get your heart pumping like no tomorrow and make you feel alive again. The second thing, because not everybody's a thrill-seeking adventurous, would be make some sort of big dream or wish of yours come true. That could be anything. That could be a cross-country road trip around the United States. That could be going to specifically one Hawaiian island, two, three, all four. It could be hitting, the lower 48. It could be hitting all of Canada or parts of Canada. It could be going specifically just to Disney World or in Universal Studios or whatever. So whatever it is for you, make that big dream or wish come true. Save up some money and then have some vacation time. Take it and go. Because that's going to rejuvenate you. It's going to re-energize you. You're going to become a bit empty, numb, depressed, PTSD, and then you do that. If it's enough things and it's a big enough experience and it's a long enough period, it's going to help snap you out of it, of your numbness, depression, PTSD. You're turning the negative into a positive. Maybe not 100%, maybe it's 50%, maybe it's 80%, maybe it's 100%. That is a you thing, but it's better than where you were. So I always, kind of believed of, you get into a place and you not only should you you want to leave it better than you found it, but not only that, after you get the basics set up, your basic foundation of like your office or whatever, or your filing system or whatever it is, try to make it your own. Turn the negatives into positives in some way, shape, or form. And you got to get a little creative with that too. So, and that creativity keeps you busy, keeps you out of trouble, gets your hands dirty, and hopefully makes improvements. I did something very similar after my time at being a supply sergeant at Fort Lewis in Iraq. Then I would get to Hawaii. It's a brand new unit, brand new type of mission, brand new type of equipment. It took me a faster pace of, like, instead of 30 months like my last unit, go from 5% to 95% efficiency within my field artillery battery unit at Fort Lewis. Now I'm in a unit that's more people, way more personnel, tons of toolboxes. So it's like double everything. Well, it took me 24 months to go from a 3% logistical efficiency in my entire unit to a full 100%. The first 100% logistical efficiency in that brigade's entire 86-year history. But then, so everything was done, everything was clean, fixed. It was a well-oiled machine. After 24 months, I still wasn't done. What can I do to now improve what I've already made perfect? That's my next question. So what I did is I started looking at certain things, processes of what we do and how we do things, like ordering supplies. So I started for over weeks. I did several weeks worth of research and reorganization, and to show, like, in a PowerPoint slide to higher ups. This is our, like, 14, 15 different step-by-step process of how we order supplies now, and this is what everybody does. This is the basic. This is the new process that I've come up with, and I go through it. It's like, we cut this out, and this is why. We cut this out, or we added something, and now it's like a 7 to 8 process, step-by-step process. And I went over the details. I showed them how I would get someone set up from start to finish, everything. A very detailed class. I had to go over a few heads for people who were, like, too busy, didn't want to listen to a new process and all that. And I went up to a really higher up in logistics in my division, and it trickled down. And the process that I came up with saved my brigade or division, I think it was brigade, in the first year, going from like 15 step-by-step supply ordering process down to like a 7, I think it was. And we saved $30 million. We saved the government $30 million. So, that's it's like, hey, lay your foundation. You got to have a good, solid foundation for yourself before you can really do any good, and then build the house on the foundation. And then, go in there, do good things, do good work, push yourself, get creative. But then once you're really well set up, make it your own. How can you keep bettering your home, your environment, your process, all that kind of stuff. So, physical health stuff. What do I do to, keep myself? Now, this is a bit of a variety of stuff. So, like whether workout at home or the gym. I'm not a huge gym person. I'm starting to order certain things to start being able to work out. I got dumbbells. I got some other stuff that to be able to help work on my abs better, more efficiently. Newer technologies are hitting the market, so I'm looking at that. I want to get in better shape. But also, I go for my walks. I go for my bike rides. My apartment even has a hot tub. When it's not super, super hot, I go out, hot tub, and maybe chill in the pool when it's warmer out. And then, to keep doing that. So it's like hot, cold, hot, cold. That helps loosen up the muscles and the joints and everything. That helps. Something I've definitely done is, go hiking, national parks and all that. Wilderness thing, North Columbia River Gorge. I go on a lot of hikes, at least once a month, pretty much. I've been to like 40 of the different, like 637 waterfalls between Washington and Oregon. I've been to like 40 of them. I do chiropractic stuff in 2 different ways. In the hot tub thing, and I got a massage heating pad on my chair right there. Massage heating pad I got from Walmart for like 40-50 bucks. I got a thing of a chirp wheel. I've got a set of 3. This helps me, bend my spine. I lay on it, and then I can pop my upper back and stuff too. I sit in my mom's like wheelchair walker, and I use it to like go to each side and pop my lower back when it's loose enough. I go to the chiropractor in Portland, a specific place called Cascade Chiropractic. Initial get in there is it's like 150, 160 bucks for the initial overview and initial chiropractic appointment. And then depending on how long of an appointment you need in the future, for like 15 bucks, it's $60. And then 30 minutes, I think it's 90 to 100, something like that. And what the one thing I love about that place specifically, that location, Cascade Chiropractic, they do the Y strap. It's kind of like a noose thing, but they put it in the it hangs right there in the back of your neck. It's kind of like, let's say if this was a noose, you lie back, and then it has a chin strap, and then they stretch your spine and then eventually yank, and it opens up your entire spine. If you've never seen a chiropractic video with a Y strap, check it out. And I do it about every 90 to 120 days. I had a lower back injury in end of March 2016. Fort Carson, Colorado, my last unit. We were delivering generators to be serviced, and they were on a military trailer. We had multiple people to, with gloves, help unhook the trailer from the Humvee, and everybody else lost their grip and dropped it all on me, and my lower back popped, and not in a good way, and I was in a lot of pain. So I have a lower back injury. I get VA disability for it. But, since then, pretty much since my early 30s, I've realized, hey, I'm no spring chicken anymore. As I'm getting older, I'll be 39 at the end of this month on the 28th. And, things are popping or not popping or getting stiff or whatever. So taking care of your body is important. So what do I got to do to take care of my hair? I go get a haircut at a proper barber place once or twice a month. I stretch out. I do little workouts. I go for walks. I go for bike rides. I go to hot tubs. I stretch things out. I'm doing a variety of foods. I'm trying new things, healthier things at times, like Thai food. I love Thai food now, and it's very, very healthy. I try to do that about once a month and stuff. And then, like dental stuff. So, a few things in the area. We have Oasis Dental, in the Plaza of Rosaires. I spend between an average of $400 to $500 per year for being seen every 6 months. To first, when I really got out of the military, I didn't have dental coverage anymore. I went through any of my colleges, see if they have a dental program, and then they can do thousands of dollars of work for like 20, 40 bucks. So they go through the college system, the students, and then they have actual certified dentist people who will look at what the student's done. Hey, you missed here, you did this right, you did this wrong. So you could be in the chair for twice as long as you would normally be, but it's super cheap, or close to free, depending on what they're doing. Like an inspection and cleaning is probably free. Other things, drilling or caps or whatever, would cost you a little bit. I've had like $5,000 worth of work done at my community college in Colorado Springs for I think it was like $100, so 100, 150, something like that. So I do dental work here. I get checked out. Mostly it's inspection and cleaning, and then every now and then I have to pay a little bit more for doing caps. And I believe those last like 5 to 7 years. But I think all of my teeth from last 2 times have all caps, so I'm pretty good for a while. But then another thing I would do, because they said hey, you need to floss more. It's one of the things that they recommend. Is I got a thing called a tooth shower. If you've never heard of it, look it up on Google tooth shower. It's an oval shape device that has an adhesive that you put on in your shower. You with an adapter hook it up to your shower head, and then it has a little nozzle thing and then hand nozzle that have connectors. So you have a handheld moving system with a hose that's connected to the main system. There's little storage pockets for these things, accessory adapters, and so there's like hot water, cold water, whatever you want to do. That the hose handle system connects to these. Double-sided toothbrush to do top and bottom really well. A 4-stream water. It's kind of like a tooth flossing, so with water, and it's for a four stream shooter, and then a solid one stream shooter to clean in between your teeth. So that's another thing I do. I do that probably a couple times a month. I got tooth shower. So let's see what else. Um, it's like, hey, no one's going to take care of you. You got to watch out for you. You got to pay your own bills. You got to watch out what you eat. You got to watch how do you work out or not. Everything in moderation is important. Another thing that I've done in the past and last couple of years, because I got a back pay, like 4 years worth of a back pay disability check 2 years ago that I was not expecting, so I used it to pay off my car early. I got my title, did upgrades to it and all that, but at the time, I sacrificed my bedroom for my disabled mom, so that's her space. And then I bought from Wayfair a like $550, $600 metal futon with a 10-inch spring thick mattress. And then I had that here in the living room, and I slept on it for 2.5 years. I'm a veteran, can pretty much sleep anywhere, but I've got a back problem. As I'm getting older, it was getting harder. So then, when I got that disability money and paid off all debts and stuff first, priorities, and then I started thinking, what, sleep is really important. Rest is really important, just like taking care of your teeth, taking care of your hair, taking care of your bones, and spinal adjustment. Getting eye inspections. I go to the VA, have a full physical done like about once a year, all that kind of stuff. Sleep is very important as well. I mean, you need good rest, to be able to go do whatever you need to do in life, to make your dreams and wishes and goals come true and make money and live and survive. So I eventually spent, it's like 4 or 5 thousand bucks on a high quality, full size, with remote control, adjustable bed frame and mattress. A beauty rest mattress as well. Some of my favorites at my timeshare resorts that I've slept on in the past. I got higher quality blankets and sheets and stuff. Got a Korean one, got a heavy duty, thick one during the winter time. When it hits summer, I take that to a dry cleaner, have professional clean it, put it in until it starts getting cold again, so that I have a heavy blanket and a lighter one, and sheets, good comfortable sheets. I maybe get one new pair every 2 years or something like that. And then I even started purchasing higher quality pillows as well, to try a variety from like Lala and specialty shaped and formed pillow, and then like the cube pillow with a ice cover so it keeps it cool and everything. And that thing I love. It's like I want ones that help with my any kind of neck issues I have, spinal issues. So it's the bed, it's the blankets and sheets, and it's the pillow. Slowly over time, not all at once, but slowly over time, I tried and bought new things. If I didn't like it, I returned it, or and all that kind of stuff. Or I kept the other ones as spares for like if a guest stays here and stays on the metal frame futon mattress that's in the kitchen and in the dining room, so I have an extra bed and everything. But sleep is pretty important, so it's another health thing, another physical health thing to think about and check out. Because rest is very important. Kind of like having good resting gear, sleeping gear, tent gear, little blow up mattress, sleeping mat, bag, and blow up pillow, and all that kind of stuff for your bug out bag as well, for an emergency bug out bag. Sleep is just as important as first aid and hygiene. Um, one of the big ones: stay away from drugs and alcohol. That is a pretty big one. My mom just recently told me how she has just realized, knowing that my older brother became like either the seventh or the eighth generation, like major alcoholic, unfortunately, in liquor specifically, from both sides of our family. And both sides of my family, aunts, uncles, moms, dads, grandpas, great grandparents. Everybody had an issue, whether it was bullying, abuse, gaslighting, alcoholism, gambling, drugs, something, whether it's beer or wine or hard liquor. I know her dad, my grandpa West, died from alcohol poisoning of liquor. He actually died the day he was going in and be like, I want to get help and I want to get fully sober and get fully clean. And they took his vitals, went to go grab him some food, and when they came back, he passed away. So, it runs in the family, even a little bit of bipolarness, depression, chemical imbalances in the brain. My dad had that. Diabetes, all that stuff runs in my family. And yes, I did get diabetes, but I'm getting it under control. I'm working on it. It's like when I put my mind to something, I don't want to go this far. I don't want me to be over like 250 pounds. And when I hit 252, it's like, nah, I need to work out more. I need to eat better. I want a better life. I want a better future. So you got to take control, be like, you can get focused and get motivated. And like, I can have, willpower, inner strength, belief and love for yourself. But, having a good, mental, emotional, physical health, you got to have balance. To me, there's positives and negatives in everything. There's positive and negatives of being in the military, positive and negatives of being a civilian, positive and negatives of being in a relationship with somebody, positive and negatives of being single. There's positive and negatives to everything. It's just, you're in control. You're in the driver's seat, so whether, no one's going to pay your bills. No one's going to take care of you or be by your side more than yourself. Your job, your specific job, the most important job is watching out for yourself, taking care of yourself. First and foremost, creating your solid foundation. The better that you set yourself up with a solid foundation, and then you build your walls and your roof and your entire solid house on your solid foundation, then later on down the line, when you're set up really well and your debts are paid off and your credit score's high and you've got your 10, 20,000 emergency savings off to the side, then everything else is extra gravy, and you could help out more people. But you keep doing a little here for you and then sacrificing to help other people, and then other people say one thing, do another, take from you. They say they borrow the money and they steal it, and all that, and they run, hit and run, pretty much emotional hit and run. They hurt you, they take advantage of you, they prove themselves, and then you keep falling for it again and again and again. And it's like, what's the definition of stupidity? People who do the same thing over and 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 over again, but expect a different result, especially a better result. And it's like, no, what's the road to hell paved with good intentions? So it's like, hey, focus on yourself. Stop caring about other people's thoughts, feelings, and opinions of you. Their opinion is their opinion. Let them have it. It's, free country, and we have free will that God gave us. But what they think of you and say to you or behind your back or whisper to other people, it shouldn't affect you, because you know who you are. You believe in yourself. You care about yourself. You're doing everything you can. You're paying your rent and you're paying your utilities and you're buying your own food and you're making your own food, hopefully, and you're taking yourself out and you're making your goals and dreams come true. No one else is doing it for you. So why do we care so much about their thoughts, feelings, and opinions when they're not really that important? I learned several years ago a very valuable lesson. There will be times that I will say or do things and then whoever's near me, surrounding me, they hear it, and I say something they don't like, they don't understand, and they don't agree with. Now they're like, you hurt me, or you offended me, or pissed me off, or whatever. I can't apologize. I could be like, I'm sorry, didn't mean to. That was not my intention. Please forgive me. And then they could like, you're forgiven. It's cool. We're good. Let's just get past it. They let it go. And then, but most of the time nowadays, a lot of them don't. They like, I want payback. I want punch for a punch, eye for an eye, poke for a poke, slap for a slap. I want some kind of retribution. You owe me something. And then when you get people like that, and I'm like, no, I don't. I don't really give a crap about your thoughts, feelings, and opinions. If you don't like it, find the nearest door. There's the door. Don't let it hit you on the ass on the way out, because it's a problem with inside them. It's not a problem with inside you. Knowing how to defend yourself if they come after you and take a swing is also a good idea. Self defense stuff. Another thing I might be looking into for better physical health is I'm very considering recently. I've been seeing them pop up a lot more in the area of different martial arts classes, maybe even like boxing or kickboxing. I saw like I think it was a jujitsu place over near the Highway 500 where the Golden Corral is down in Vancouver before you hit the Vancouver Mall area. And so it's not too far. One of my favorite Thai restaurant places is in the area. So I've been thinking about maybe starting to look at quotes in different locations. I can get in better, shape. Maybe I do a little bit myself. I lose a little bit more weight, build some muscle, and then go there to push myself even harder. Or maybe even have like a personal trainer kind of thing. So, those are the kind of things that I do. Problem solving, thinking outside the box. Someone did me wrong. Someone hurt me. Hey, it's 50% positive. It's 50% negative. What can I do to change my perception? Look at it from different angles to turn more of that 50% negative into positive. Had that happen with a couple years ago. Old high school friend, her and her significant other got a major fight, pulled me and my mom into the issue and the fight. And I lost my cool because I had like 102 fever, hadn't slept in like 36 hours, exhausted. I might as well have been drunk and delirious. Did not mean to do what I did. It was a complete freak accident. It was completely out of the norm of, me losing my cool, which is very rare. But I did lose my cool, and I was preparing for my 8th semester of college starting the next morning. I was super busy, did not want to deal with this stuff. My mom's MS, we found I was getting 30% worse according to her scans. Older brother was divorcing his ex and started drinking himself to death and mentally, emotionally torturing and abusing my younger brother and his girlfriend. And so I told her significant other what I really thought of him and why. I let like a dozen small little secrets of hers, slip out. And then, she comes back from work and he's yelling and screaming at her. And pretty much she threw away 14 and a half years of close to perfect friendship in a single freaking day because I made a human mistake. She wouldn't even talk to me. I tried to reach out about once a month for 15 months. And she kicked me out of her life, my goddaughter's lives, didn't even allow me to say a proper, respectable goodbye, didn't allow me to try to explain myself, and she also borrowed money, borrowed personal property, and some other stuff, and she owed me like over $1,800 and took it and ran pretty much. She said one thing and did another, all because she was pissed at me. So, but then when it happened, because I've been expecting it for years, because their relationship was a lot like my mom and ex-stepfather's, they're almost identical. And so for like 9 years, I've been expecting this kind of a fight to happen, whether it be a verbal fight, fist fight, or both, between me and her significant other. He's a lot like my ex-stepfather, and I hated my ex-stepfather. And, or it was going to be between me, her, and him, And so by preparing myself, it was 50% positive, 50% negative when it happened. And then over the next several months, I talked to a close female friend of mine, and she also helped change my perception to where it was no longer 50-50. It was 80% positive that it happened, and it was 20% negative. The negative is that I lost my goddaughters for now, and that I lost some money and personal property that she stole from me. But the big thing is everything that I told her significant other, none of it was a lie. It's like she's the one lying through her teeth to cover her own butt and using you and your mom as the scapegoats, and telling them either full up, straight up lies or twisted versions of the truth to be a yes woman and pretty much to get other people on her side, on her team, to fight her battles for her, but make everybody happy, especially her abusive significant other, because she's scared to death. So, but that's a part of the technique, changing your mindset in order to, make it where it's more positive than it is negative. Which you are, if you're able to do that, change your perception, turn negatives into positive, then you're a more effective multitask problem solver, and that also helps with your mental health as well. It makes it where you're happy, and you're not as depressed or sad that these things happen. You can let them go and get past them faster. But I do go for walks. I talk to myself about whether it's from a family member, that old friend, if I ever see him again, what will I say to them? What will I ask them? What will I tell them? Is like, hey, maybe I told you a half truth or a straight up lie before to protect you, and now I want you to know the truth. I never told you this. I had a bit of a secret or something. I kept something to myself, and I want to tell you. Or, if you always wondered why this happened before in the past, this is the actual reason. Just kind of get it all out there to give each other sort of clarity, answers, and positive closure. So I wonder and talk to myself for friends and family members, different events, what would I say to my older brother if we were fighting? What would I say to my dad if he was alive? What would I say to my ex-stepfather if I ever bumped into him because all the abuse that he put us through? What would I say to my old, some of my old female friends that I've lost friendships with? I'm like, hope you're doing well. Are you happy? I hope there's no hard feelings. I don't want there to be any bad vibes between us if we bump into each other, that kind of stuff. So clear everything up and give each other clarity, answers, and positive closure. That would be something that I would want with a couple of people if I had the chance in the future. So I think about those things, and by thinking about those things, you're talking through them. You have an idea what you would ask and tell them and say to them and all that. So that way, if it happens, your mind doesn't go blank. You have a pretty good idea what you want to ask or tell them. So all those things are good for your mental, emotional, and physical health. Nobody's going to watch out for you or take care of you or your mind or your body or your teeth or your bones or your health, your physical health, your mental health, your happiness more than you. It's your responsibility and it's your lifelong job to focus on you, take care of you, do what you need to do to make yourself healthy and make yourself happy and to let go, not be so depressed, not be so stressed out, not be so scared and worried. How does one become mentally and emotionally stronger slowly over time as we age, especially as adults? By facing, dealing with, overcoming, and conquering difficulty, challenges, obstacles, hardship, all levels and all forms of conflict. How frequently? Every single day of your life. The only thing to fear is fear itself. Fear is meant to be faced, dealt with, overcome, and conquered. Another way to look at fear is an acronym, and it has two meanings to it. Forget everything and run. The people who want to be, scared cowards, tell people what they want to hear, be a yes man or woman, to try to get them on their side, to fight their battles for them, and make everybody happy. Those are the people who forget everything and run. The other type is face everything and rise. The choice is yours which path you take. I'm the face everything and rise because I don't want an issue, a bad situation issue pops up. I don't want to keep kicking the can down the road more and more, and then there's another issue, and then there's multiple issues, and then there's multiple cans, and then they start piling up on you, and it just gets worse and worse and worse. I don't want to run and hide. I want to face it, deal with it, overcome it, and conquer it, so I know that where am I kicking the can? Right into a recycle bin right there to get it done and over with, and it's complete, and I never have to deal with that issue again. I want to face it, deal with it, overcome it, and conquer it immediately, right now, this second. I don't want to hold off a day, a week, a month, a year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 40 years dealing with one issue, whether it's with a person, place, or thing, or debt collections or whatever. Deal with it as fast as humanly possible, and then you can let it go. Let it go. Well, it rolls right off your shoulders. You're done. You're done with it. It's not an issue anymore. Whether that's with a person, place, or thing, or a family member, significant other, tell it like it is, and don't worry about hurting people's feelings. They'll get over it. So that's, I think, all I really have for what I've come up with as to, how do I keep myself in good mental, emotional, physical health, and have a good, like, turn negatives into positive kind of mentality, and how do I have a good work-life balance. I pushed myself really hard for about, from the time I was probably about 16, actually, 16 to, say 36, 37, until I got, was done with college in December 2022. Got my bachelor's in business accounting. And after that, things started getting a lot easier, more smooth sailing. One of the biggest things I'm going to do here very soon in the next couple weeks, start looking at, I have to go through a system to try to find me another caregiving client, connect me with one or two people to fill an additional 45 hours a month, and then when they connect me with someone and I can take care of them, then I do additional basic training, additional 40 hours I get paid for, and then I'll get a pay increase on top of that, and then I start taking care of my mom as my primary and one or two other people as my alternates. And so then I'm just bettering my financials thing. I'm getting, once I do that, I'll be very, very close to that 50, 20, 30 financial rule as well. It might be a little different than that, but I'll have, instead of saving a couple $100 a month, pocketing to spend on whatever I want, I'll be saving a couple $1,000s. So, so that's why I have a good work-life balance. I'm always keeping myself busy, whether it's relaxing stuff or out in the world stuff, traveling stuff, trying new foods, doing YouTube videos, Google reviews, building bug out bags, cleaning house, getting rid of old stuff to get new stuff, donating blood, plasma, platelets at Red Cross, donating stuff at Goodwill or Salvation Army or something, going to sell things on Facebook Marketplace, whatever it is. Constantly looking at how can I better my life, how can I better my future, how can I better my finances, my home, my vehicle, my furniture. If I do have any debts, how can I pay those off faster? How can I make extra money off to the side? I'm always trying to think of how can I better my overall life in every aspect, in every direction. So that is pretty much all I have and I hope this is good info for you, good ideas, good examples. If you like the video, please hit like, please hit subscribe, make any comments, and tell me what you think. Have a good day, have a good summer, stay safe, and take care of your mental, emotional, and physical health. Because you do you, and you watch out for you, and you take care of yourself. All right. Have a good day. Bye.